Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Stop them. An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped by any army.
Welcome to TLBTV, Eradicating Programmed Ignorance, brought to you by the Liberty Beacon Project. And I am your host and the founder of the Liberty Beacon Project, Roger Landry. And today, Rebecca, we've just had a ball because I'm not really getting a chance to do a whole lot of news lately. We just keep introducing brand new show hosts for TLBTV. And I'm enjoying that because we've got some phenomenal individuals. And today is absolutely par for the course. I mean, once we bring our new show host in, you will all understand exactly why we wish him to be a part of the TLB family. There are individuals out there who suffer the ravages of governments gone awry. There are individuals out there, many, it doesn't matter what country you live in today, where your rights are being stomped upon, where your health is being seriously, compromised. And it is up to the few who understand the way it's supposed to be. We live in a constitutional republic in America. It is we, the people, who are in fact the government, and everybody in Washington are our servants. Literally, our servants meant only to do our bidding, but this isn't the way we see it. Whether you live in Poland, whether you live in America, whether you live in Great Britain today, we are seeing this all across the world. Humanity is being pushed back, pushed down, and basically run over. So when we find individuals such as the phenomenal show hosts we have, when we find contributors like all the great people that write for all of our websites across the planet, when we find people who have a voice and an idea and a concept of the way it's supposed to be and wish to, because they have a backbone and they have a spine, speak up and help us to, and you know what I'm going to say, Rebecca, eradicate programmed ignorance, which is in fact, the mission and the mission statement of the Liberty Beacon Project. That's it, the entire mission statement, the eradication of programmed ignorance. So when we find individuals like that, then we need to get their voice out. And today, and these days, we are doing that through a very powerful and becoming very popular media called TLBTV. So, Rebecca, why don't you do us all a favor here and tell people a little bit about our guest before we bring him in.
Our guest has a really interesting background because, much like you have said, it's about the eradication of programmed ignorance and bringing out things that are true, things that people need to know. And this person is actually a targeted individual and has dealt with a lot of covert government, pretty much, what he talks about as harassment. And he is also the founder and owner of the Red Pill Hardcore. It is a show where alternative news media is being given in the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So if propaganda is someone's thing, not going to happen. Without any further ado, I think we should hear from our guest and our new show host in his own words. Welcome to the show, V.
Hello. Oh, wow. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You know, that intro was beautiful. A red carpet would not have touched that for anything in the world. Thank you.
You are so welcome. With what you have to share in the messages based on all your research and personal experience, you are going to really captivate a lot of audience's attention. I think that Roger has a lot that he wants to ask so that our audience in the TLB family has an opportunity to get to know you. And also for those that are new to watching TLB TV, that they get a chance to know who you are so that they can start getting the information from you directly as well.
Okay, that sounds great. Shoot.
Just start.
Oh,
Okay, so listen up for a second, my friend. V, tell us,
yes.
okay, where you come from, and I don't necessarily mean where you were born, where you come from, where are you coming from, what is your mission, and why is it that you want to do a TLB TV show? I already can guess the answers pretty damn good, but it's the audience that Rebecca is speaking to that we wish you to address these answers to, because you already have a reputation for putting the truth out. You already have a reputation for speaking things that a lot of people won't speak. I got to tell you something, okay? The tyranny will not be, okay, the end of freedom on this planet unless people ignore it. And if people do ignore it and don't become awake to it, it will eventually smother all of liberty across this planet. So you are appreciated, my friend. So where do you come from? Where are you going? And what do you expect to accomplish with a TLB TV show?
Well, I come from a lot of matrices or constructs of reality that are extremely false, who are not myself, and it's not necessarily anyone. I come from a military family. Father's retired Air Force, 22 years. Brother went Navy. I went Army. Other family members, so forth.
I won't hold that against you. Navy.
And thank you for your service.
And yes, thank you. And so I'm the kind of person who has never fit in any sort of box. I was actually sick of the military life. I promised myself that I would never go to the military, but circumstances happened to where I needed to go. I couldn't find work. My mother was in dire need of financial help. I wasn't necessarily doing anything with my life at the time, so I said, hey, why not? And so I went to the military. I went to the Army. Some things happened. Some very unfortunate things happened. I've seen some very unfortunate things. COs and other commanding officers doing things with privates they shouldn't be. That's not a pun. I hope you don't think that's a pun. But I was very unruly, I guess you could say. I didn't exactly fit into the program. I actually outdid a lot of my XOs, and I outdid my team leaders. And, you know, you're doing things wrong. Do it my way. No, 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 no. This is the way you do it. But when I outdo them, they're extremely upset. And I got signed up for some things that I didn't want to. I just wanted to go in and be a chicken loop guy, do my time, get it done, get it over with. Yet they wanted me for intelligence and these other things, and no, I wasn't having it. I exceeded in physical combat, even forced to fight in training while injured. Actually came in second Pugil champion and first place in my MMA. But that was the punishment, actually, to enter in a tournament being injured. And so I found more and more punishments as I disobeyed illegal orders that were given to me. I had no problem telling, you know, my sergeant or my commanding officer to go F yourself. You know, that's not going to happen. So I found myself subject to a few experiments that I wasn't aware of at the time. And I have been targeted ever since. I have had many instances where I've had government entities directly controlling my life. I know I got out of the Army back home in America, where I was back to Texas, my home, and I'm driving down the road. I get pulled over by police officers, and it's, oh, you know, your your tags are expired, your driver's license expired. I'm sorry, not expired, it's suspended. That can't be right. That can't be right. We want to search your vehicle. And they find drugs in my car. It's like, that's not right. I just got back. Well, how is this possible? You know, if my friends want to throw me a party, they didn't even get the chance yet. So there is just no excuse for that. So it's just these things. I had relationships where I was cut off from because I was jailed for something where I should have been let out. You know, a few days later, I was jailed for almost 4 months, destroyed a relationship, had lots of problems communicating with people outside the jail, especially my significant other at the time, who was pregnant with my child. Now, I never got to see this child because of the estranged relationship. All my mail was kept by police officers. I didn't get any of my mail till the day I left. I was 4 months without my mail because they decided to single me out. And so that pretty much destroyed my relationship from miscommunications. I have a child that I never met who died. He had heart complications. And so, I found that I've been targeted through various means throughout my entire life. The targeting became overt when I started speaking out about what was going on. I read the news, I've read articles, I did a lot of research. And jokingly one day in a conversation with a friend of mine, I said, the NSA is monitoring all of our conversations, all of our communications. Boom, it hit me. I was experiencing lots of electronic harassment at that point. Something known as V2K, which is really synthetic telepathy. I had experienced lots and lots of hacking of my computers, my devices. And next thing I know, I'm being COINTELPRO, counterintelligence programmed, where you have people known as gang stalkers who are of info guard or police origins who will stalk you. And basically, I was being mind controlled to the point, well, they wanted to mind control me to where I became a shooter, like Aaron Alexis or Myron May. If you may remember those guys, Florida State shooter, Navy Yard shooter. And that was what was meant for me. I was put up as an on-shelf shooter. Now, I, luckily, being who I am, being outside the box and thinking for myself, I was thinking, I can't be crazy. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of experimentation.
You also took yourself way out of that scenario, and I won't tell anybody where you are. That's up to you whether you wish to or not. But you literally pulled yourself out of the environment, which probably did a whole hell of a lot to put you back into a frame of personal sanity.
Correct. There's a story about Saint Anthony, who was a guy who lived alone. He lived in complete solitude, and he was harassed by demons every day, just trying to drive him crazy. He found an inner peace within himself and began to conquer his demons and went out to the world to do so. And so I think that's a bit of model for me. And so, yeah, I basically found out what this was. Most TIs, it takes them years to figure out what's going on with them, most target individuals. And, most
some never do.
Some never do. Some, 20, 30 years, been through the medical system and the mental wards and the psychiatrists drugged up. You have these zombies, controlled zombies walking around. And, these people don't actually figure this stuff out. But after about 2 months of research.
They make good tools, don't they? They make good tools.
Exactly.
That's the intent. All right. What I want the audience to understand at this point is, because this is just an intro show, you're going to get a chance to go into details on this a whole lot more. What I want the audience to understand is, what do you talk about? Because you do shows. Okay.
Yes, I do.
This will be your first TLBTV show, but it doesn't mean you don't do shows. And people going to your website, and the link is in the article that this video is embedded in, we'll get a chance to listen to what you have to say. But, okay, let's move a little bit forward here and talk about, why do you talk about the things you do and what do you talk about? Okay?
Well, you have a slogan, Eradicating Programmed Ignorance. Did I get that right?
That is the mission statement. You go to anybody's website, their mission statement's a book. Our mission statement is one short sentence: the eradication of programmed ignorance. That says a volume.
Now, my ordeal is I expose and destroy psyopses, psychological operations. We're in the same business. So,
hold on, because you just said something sterling here, okay? Most Americans will say, psyops, that is a conspiracy theory. Let me bring you a quote, which I repeat on a lot of shows, okay, from William Casey, head of the CIA in 1981, to a brand new president, where he states, "We will know that our program of disinformation has succeeded when everything the American people believe is false." Now, you tell me that everybody in this country isn't under the auspice of a PSYOP. You tell me that, and if you can prove it, I'm going to get you put on Broadway at high noon and let you sell tickets to the event.
You're absolutely correct. There are psychological operations that are so small and then so large. And when it comes to conspiracy theory, and it's become slang for someone who thinks differently. It's become something of a taboo, something that someone should not be. You shouldn't be a conspiracy theorist. Although I don't claim to be a conspiracy theorist.
How about a
I'm well researched.
Factualist?
I'm extremely researched. I'm a conspiracy researcher or conspiracy expert. I have no theories. I know how these things work. And conspiracies exist, whether anyone wants to believe it or not. To say something is a conspiracy, well, if it didn't exist, why does the government have charges? You can be charged with conspiracy for something. And, if you're planning a bank robbery, and the feds come and catch you and see evidence of that, you get charged of conspiracy, plans to rob a bank. Okay, conspiracies exist, whether we do it or they do it. Now, they're all
much better at it than we are in a lot of cases.
Well, a clearance and a lot of money affords you a lot of things. So, but I don't have clearance. I don't have a gag order. And with my show, I definitely talk about psychological operations, anything from, everything's all about mind control. And that's what I want to break. From the technological, psychotronic weaponry, illegal weaponry that the government uses, voice to skull, synthetic telepathy, all the way down to just making you miss a phone call, a very important phone call by hacking one of your devices. These are all, they want to put all this false flag terrorism in the news so they can control us with fear, take away our freedoms.
You just said something. Okay, all the way
Yes.
down to just making you miss a very important phone call.
It happens to me
I got
a
to tell
lot.
you, okay, you got a
Uh-huh.
rock at the top of the, or just a pebble on a snow-covered mountain, okay, and you start it rolling downhill. By the time it gets to the bottom of that hill, it is the size of a small house, and it weighs tons. All right, trying to move that big ass snowball at the bottom of the hill is virtually impossible for the average human being. It's too big, it weighs too much. But if all the way at the top of the hill, when that thing first hits the ground and starts to roll, you just tweak it a half inch to the side, it ends up a mile further over and everything changes. So by
Correct.
them getting you to miss one phone call, the array of events that spread out from that changes the future in drastic fashions. This is the way they think. They think
Absolutely.
that if we push society, just nudge society a little bit here, 10 years from now, they're going to be over here instead of over here. This is the
But
way they think. So you're very, very right. Really
but the
are.
thing about that is these people don't know what they're doing. They want to call themselves social engineers, and they use eugenics and all these psychological warfare operations. Now, I've been hit with everything in the book, the psychological operations manual, hit with everything. I was supposed to have been dead a long time ago, but here I am. I've actually invented counter technology. I'm connected with all sorts of government whistleblowers, CIA, NSA, Secret Service, you name it. I've got connections. And here I am on media, social media. I've just, with their social engineering and their nudging and their constant pushing, they still don't understand what they're doing. It's supposed to be a science, but with them, it's an experimentation.
It's not
And
only that they don't understand what they're doing, it's that they're not sometimes prepared for the ramifications. We just saw a huge Trump movement, and I'm not talking pro-Trump or anti-Trump at this point. I'm just saying we just saw a huge pro-Trump movement that has literally woken up so much of the citizenry that the deep state now is going, oh shit, what are we going to do? They didn't see this coming, but it's as a result of those pushes and nudges you're talking about that backfired on them.
well, the funnier thing about it is, at every stage, with everything they've done to me, I tell them, okay, you're going to do this to me? Well, this is what's going to happen. The arrogance of these people is astounding. Their pride. The pride was devil's downfall. I'll tell you that. It's in the good book. I don't get into religion, but it's written everywhere. Okay,
Do
in
you
all
know what
sorts
I
of
did for a
philosophy.
living? Do you know what I did for a living?
What's that?
I worked for the DOD, okay, managing emergency response teams that went all around the world to fix some of the most sensitive electronics equipment. And so when you talk about these things and you see these big smiles on my face, don't believe that they're not there for a reason, because I do understand what you're talking about. And I haven't been with
Yeah.
that since 2000. Okay, so
Mhm.
I left 17 years ago, but I spent 30 years, actually about 29 years in that realm. So V, when I smile, it's because I understand, not because it sounds funny. But Rebecca, I want to let you in here,
Yes.
because when you start cocking your head from one side to the other, you got something to say. And right now you're doing this.
No, I'm just listening to some of the things that he's sharing with us, and he had mentioned something about he had developed.
Technologies, yeah.
Yes, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about that.
Well, actually, the groundwork has already been laid. The groundwork has been laid. There are some new scientific developments that came about in 2014 about magnetic shielding.
Okay.
There are this is coming about, and EMF absorption technology for energy.
Are we going to see you wearing tinfoil wrapped around your head in one of your shows? Come on. Tell me this. No.
Well, you know, a lot of this stuff is...
That was a joke.
Well, I understand. I appreciate it. But this stuff is actually quite real. Remote neural monitoring. The NSA has satellite technology combined with the chemtrails, the nanoparticulates that we've all been breathing for the past decade plus, 20 years.
And a lot of those particulates are metallic. And what does
the aluminum
do? Yes.
The aluminum, our entire...
strontium, barium, aluminum, lead, copper. Yes, I know.
All this stuff coats our nervous system. Our brains are coated in this. This stuff breaks the blood-brain barrier. This allows for, whenever they bounce a frequency off of you, this is biotelemetry. They can get any kind of readings off of you that they want, whether it's...
I freaking love you. You're only the third person I've ever heard discuss this. I'm one of them, and the other one we'll bring up on another show. But
all right,
this is absolutely amazing, because every time you open your mouth, my smile gets bigger. You're gonna have to slow down real soon. My face is gonna crack and fall off.
All right. Well, you know, I've been doing a lot of researching. I've been at this for a while. I've been doing my radio thing for 3 years now. Yeah, I think as time flies by, it's hard to keep track. I just started my TV show in TV here in Poland. I've got about 6 episodes recorded, and so this is what our viewers are going to be seeing. And
you just made the smile twice as big when you said our viewers. We are
absolutely.
A family. You are a brand new, cherished, and valued member of this family.
You know, a newbie, but an old soul. So I recognize everything that you're trying to do. And, you know, what you're trying to do is something that I had planned on doing for myself, and you laid down the groundwork. You saved me about a decade's. You saved me about decades worth of work. So I thank you for letting me be a part of your team, and we're gonna grow.
No, you got it wrong. Thank you for letting me be a part of our team. Okay?
All right.
Rebecca knows what's coming. Okay, one of my favorite sayings, and I make up picture memes with sayings on them, and these are all my sayings, and there's hundreds of them on the Liberty Beacon. Go to the Liberty Beacon website and click on Reality Bites. One of the ones I'm most proud of is, a true leader can be distinguished by those they choose to stand beside them, not behind them. Not my team, our team.
Our team, right. Well, you know, they also say great leaders make other leaders. Absolutely.
That's right.
I agree with
that 100%.
All right. Well, Rebecca, do you have anything you would like to ask me? Because we're going to be wrapping this up here real quick. Again, it was just an introductory show. One last question or two from you, and then we'll let you, V, give us about a minute or two of a wrap up on what they can expect from you. And then I'll bring it out with a bang.
Okay. I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you so much for giving the audience an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the things that they may not be aware of at all. In fact, Roger mentioned a minute ago that he only knows of 3 people now that was talking about what you were. So this is going to be quite educational for some. It's going to be a complete eye-opener for others, and then for those who have been in the know, they are going to be able to follow and maybe even assist you along with further information. So this is definitely something that the TLB project, the TLB family welcomes you to.
Well, I thank you very much. This is going to be an absolutely exquisite ordeal here. I'm not much used to wrap-ups, but I will say that I have a lot of interesting guests, the kind that you would expect and the kind that are needed for a network such as ours. Whistleblowers from governments, any kind of institutions that control the planet. So it's all about free speech. I don't have much of a debate show. I have guests on who want to get their piece out, and we just talk about it. And it's all educational, and it's all for our benefit because, you know, those with education, they have a choice, they have power. And I always end my show with, you know, in the land of surveillance, the man with the third eye is king. So educate yourself.
Mm.
All right. That was really, really, really good. First off, let me throw a hint at you. I know somebody that we can put on your show that can talk about just about anything you could possibly bring up, and the discussion would be absolutely phenomenal. Would you like me to talk to this individual and see if we can send them your way?
I love a good challenge.
Roger, would you like to go on V's show? By golly, I'd love that. Okay. Hey, I just talked to him, V. He said he'd love to go on your show.
All right.
Anyway, I think the conversation would be absolutely phenomenal. I don't volunteer to do a lot of shows, but with what you have to discuss, the discussion between you and I would be a jaw dropper. So let's make it happen sometime over the next month or so, because you've already got 5 or 6 shows lined up. So let's make it happen. Let's you and I sit down and record a conversation that will absolutely require a very large bag of popcorn in order to watch it. Okay?
Hey, that sounds like fun.
All right. For everybody watching, this is our newest family member. This is V. And V will be doing a TLBTV show coming up very soon. And I do mean very soon. And Rebecca, we're very, very proud of what you're doing for TLBTV. For anybody who doesn't know, Rebecca is the media director for the TLB project, and she's doing a phenomenal job. As a matter of fact, we've got new show hosts coming in daily, and big names, okay? Like Dr. Wolfson, like Clyde Lewis, like Barry Prince, like so, and like Mr. V. People that other people are aware of when they see them all congregating into a project that is doing its best to give every piece of information to those who know that humanity is being intentionally harmed. It focuses energy. We are very proud that you are helping the Liberty Beacon Project focus the energy on the truth. The more people like you we get in, the more energy and the more intellect that focuses on the Liberty Beacon Project, and the quicker we can get to a goal of waking up the masses, eradicating the programmed ignorance. Thank you very much, V.
Thank you.
For everybody watching, this has been another episode of TLBTV, Eradicating Programmed Ignorance, brought to you by the Liberty Beacon Project. My many, many, many thanks to you, my lovely and massively intelligent co-host, Rebecca Mahan. And V, we look forward to your first show. For everybody that's watching, we wish you a very pleasant evening.